What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're having a very blessed and wonderful day. Today's video topic will be regarding a very scary situation that is focused on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, I know that it's been a minute since I've made a video on the game. It's been a while. Things have changed. I got a cool, comic avatar now. Let me know down in the comments below if y'all like that or not. I just want to state I never abandoned Suicide Squad or anything like that. It's hard to talk about something when there's absolutely nothing to talk about at all. Even more so when like you've run out of ideas in your idea pool, right? Things can get kind of stale. But over the next couple of months leading up to the February 2nd release date, do expect to see more Suicide Squad content pop up back here on the channel. Also, my voice has just come back like a day or two ago. I'm not at 100%, so please still bear with me because I am fighting the cold if my voice does sound a bit off or a bit shaky. Now, ever since the announcement back in April, right, where we found out the game was being delayed to polish a few things, they've pretty much been radio silent. Now, it's not an uncommon thing for studios to cut themselves off from the world while they, go through a re-reveal process, which is what's happening here. The same thing actually happened with Fireaxis Games during my Midnight Sun saga here on the channel, if anybody remembers that. From December of 2021 to June of 2022, the game was dead silent until Summer Games Fest, where we had a big reveal showing off Spidey and Scarlet Witch as playable characters, and they continue to drip feed us content over the coming months until that December release date. Well, October 1st, but then it got pushed back to December. Now, we had a character showcase one week, we had a character deep dive the next week, we had developer streams like once every month or every few weeks if I remember correctly. There was enough of the game being shown to satisfy the waiting player base, not to mention the insane promotion that they did for the game, right? Showing up on a popular TV show as the main theme of the episode and then having a character take over all of their socials, which was Deadpool, and just pretty much having him give out codes and interacting with the community for a couple of weeks. Now, he also revealed all of the DLC characters too, so that was another bonus. Now, the reason why I went into depth about that is because of the time frame in which that happened. So you have from June to what was supposed to be October, then December. That was a total of 6 months where Fireaxis Games was going hard on promotion for the game, because if you remember, a lot of people didn't necessarily like Midnight Suns, specifically because of the fact that it was card based. However, during that 6-month stint, they were doing everything they possibly can to show off the game in a positive light in the hopes that it would change some people's minds about the card-based gameplay. And while yes, it did work to a certain extent, it unfortunately didn't get to where they wanted it to be, but that's okay. Now, again, the reason why I went into depth about that is because of the time frame. We have 3 months left for Suicide Squad. There are 86 days between us and that release date, and we haven't heard a lick of anything. Next Friday, for me personally, is when I, just go ahead and I hit that panic button for good reason. So we haven't heard anything, and time is running out. The game is sitting around 70% to 30% in terms of negative versus positive press, which sucks, but it is what it is. And that negative press is doing nothing but getting completely worse, right? The past couple of months, the only promotion that's really being done for the game has come from people like myself, other creators. Other creators have been pretty much doing all of the press for the game, making sure people are excited, making sure people still remember it, first off, because a lot of people have genuinely forgotten that this game is still coming out, and then the other half is just, people's general opinions about the game in and out of itself, and only a small portion of these creators have actually been positive or just giving pure constructive criticism, because a lot of the majority out right now is sitting in that negative side of the field. Now, I'm not knocking anyone else's content as a disclaimer, but there is definitely a clear split between the positive and negative, and it's not hard to see who's on which side. Now, this time frame is a crunch for Rocksteady because they have to pump out an insane amount or just the right amount of promotion over a very short time frame, possibly even shorter, because companies actually go on break, right? They go on holiday break for Thanksgiving in November, and then in December for Christmas, Kwanzaa, everything that's in that area, and they tend to not come back until early to mid-January. If it's mid-January, that will leave them 2 weeks. That would leave them just about 2 weeks to convince the public that their game will not be a dumpster fire. So that's already a big gap in a 2-month time frame to make up. Now, according to Miller, cool person, somebody that has his hands in places that others can't reach, go ahead and give him a follow over on Twitter, I'm not calling that website X, he stated that from what he heard, they were prepping for a reveal this quarter, and that they were on a total comms blackout until then, which makes sense. And some stuff about the prequel comic, when he poked around about it, that was also in the conversation as well. Now, I also did a video on that because the release date for the prequel comics were changed and absolutely nothing was said about them. You guys can click that link in the top right hand corner, it'll take you to it. Now, the final quarter this year are the last 3 months, October, November, and December. October is over and November just started, still nothing. Mortal Kombat 1 is out already, and Omni-Man releases today, I believe. So the next big game on the docket for WB to push is actually Suicide Squad, because Wonder Woman is still a ways away and Hogwarts Legacy is in the rear view. Now, one would definitely expect promotion to pick up once the previous game dropped, even more so since there's actually been a trailer reported that shows off the game in a new light, and that trailer is the reveal that we've been waiting on. But like Miller stated, and from what we clearly have seen, the developers are in the media lockdown right now and nothing is being said. Now, people are suggesting that December at the Game Awards is when we are going to hear something next regarding the game, because if we don't hear nothing this month at all, there's absolutely no way in hell we don't get past the Game Awards without hearing something. If we get past that and nothing is shown, that's actually the worst case scenario. I personally think that's a bad idea, if I'm being honest, because I think it's better if we hear something sooner, like this month, even if it's a teaser saying that, yeah, we'll be at the Game Awards. That's where studios can reveal new games, because all eyes in the gaming world will be on that show. But now it also has to compete with everything else being shown there, and it can easily be overshadowed by the reveal of the game can easily be overshadowed depending on what else is there. Like GTA 6, for example, there's a strong possibility GTA 6 might pop up at the Game Awards now that has been officially confirmed by Rockstar. So they need all the time that they can to turn people around, because turning players around with one good reveal doesn't feel like an option that's on the table, right? It's already too much stacked against them. Quick recap. So the game is a live service shooter. People didn't like that. People saw the gameplay, and for some reason, the biggest takeaway is that we're shooting purple blobs the entire game. People didn't like that. The game has a battle pass, which is optional, and you don't have to buy it. People didn't like that. King Shark and Captain Boomerang are using guns. People didn't like that. Real quick, because I actually want to touch on the battle pass stuff real quick, because I know this is going to become an even bigger topic as we get closer to release. Now look, understand me when I say this. I am simple and I'm a black man. I love free stuff, but the free DLC this time around might not actually be the move. Now, Marvel's Avengers did that, and we all know how that turned out. It did not go so well. Now, I don't mind paying for DLC content if the game was good, and I'm looking out for the future in terms of what it is I'm going to be dealing with and how much I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, for example, I think like the last big DLC that I bought was the Witch Queen for Destiny 2, and the next like real big DLC that I think I'm gonna end up buying is the expansion for Diablo 4 when that gets here late next year. But the reason why I'm saying all that, right, is because, again, all that stuff is fine. I do not mind paying for DLC content, but giving us characters, missions, gear, story missions, all of that stuff for the freebie is scary. Now, I know I said before that I thought it was a good idea. That would, hear me, that was the liking free stuff in my mind talking for me. Logically, unless they have a very strong path planned out for the current monetization, which is the battle pass and other cosmetics, I do not see how they're going to make money back off of that alone. It would be a much different story if the game was free to play, because then all of that money that's being used to purchase the game can go towards buying things like the battle pass and cosmetics or whatnot. That's more money to put into that section. However, you do still have some free to play games which do have major expansions for you to buy in that regard, like Destiny. Destiny is a free to play game. There's a lot to do in Destiny. However, if you want access to some of the new content, some of the new powers, new weapons, stuff like that, yes, you gotta drop money. Now, my honest suggestion would be doubling back and charging for the new content, because look at it this way: if the game does well, people will be more interested. People will buy this extra content. If we get a storyline, and if we get an expansion that deals with Amanda Waller sending a team after sending us after Intergang, and Deathstroke is the new character, or if we're forced to stop another invasion from Starro because he's around in that universe, and they decide to bring in Bloodsport or Peacemaker or whoever they might be. People will pay for it. I'm putting the emphasis on the P's because I'm trying to like to get this across. People will pay for it, right? More money means more content, which means everyone is happy for the time being. And before anyone says it, because I know some people are, you know, gonna say, because I know some people are going to say, it makes no sense that I gotta spend $70 to $80 for a video game and then I gotta buy more DLC down the line. Not DLC. Diablo 4 is a perfect example. Diablo 4 is a paid game. I paid $100 because I had the goddamn Ultimate Edition and I fucking loved it. That's a paid game, and they just announced their first expansion at the end of next year, which you will have to buy, which will be a paid expansion. So don't act like it's just an uncommon thing in gaming, because it's not. Y'all keep trying to push that narrative, and it's honestly very dumb. Dead by Daylight, for example, just announced Chucky. Paid game, paid DLC. His little ass is running around stabbing people in the neck. Paid game, paid DLC. Now, Rocksteady is a studio that people would normally have more than enough faith in to pump out a great game, just like Insomniac, right? Because let's be honest, that's where the comparison keeps ending up these days. Rocksteady has spent the past decade building up the narrative of them being a great studio and making great games, and for some reason, for a lot of people, Suicide Squad was enough to make them fully forget that entire decade worth of accolades and accomplishments. Like, it's weird. Now, this is why the promotion needed to start as soon as possible. They have to show us that this is a live service game worth supporting. This is a live service game that they are fully confident in, that it will not follow the likes of Marvel's Avengers, which, as we all know, couldn't escape the game having its very own A-Day back in September when it was permanently delisted from all digital storefronts. We need something to show to us that Rocksteady is ready to fully commit to Suicide Squad as a live service, and they're going all in, because that is how you succeed with a product like this. Because if you look at any other company that's done a live service game, it was usually always 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and that's the reason why games fail. There's not enough commitment that needs to be there from the jump. Now, here's my whole thing, right? I've been playing live service games for a very long time, right? I've seen the good and I've seen the bad. I know how to stand on both sides of the field when it comes to being biased and unbiased. Good or bad, I tell it like how it is. Like, if you come to my channel, then you already know. Me being as honest as I possibly can is something that I try to pride myself on, because one, I have no reason to lie to y'all, and two, I don't want to lie to y'all, because then that means I'm being disingenuous and dishonest, and then that's gonna make my content look weird. And then that's another thing, because as of right now, I'm still beyond hype for Suicide Squad, but I'm also keeping that hype in check because I've been burned before, and I know just how badly that can go. And it's even worse for me now, because since I'm older and I'm a content creator, if a game that I'm supporting and covering crashes and burns, and I only cover games that I support, I'm gonna look like a fucking fool in front of everybody. Now, I've already made my bed with this game. I'm playing it regardless of what happens, unless something really horrible ends up happening, but that's a worst case scenario. It's everyone else that has to be convinced at this point, and sadly, all we can do is wait and see. From this video forward, the clock is definitely ticking towards the possible revival or reburial of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and that is going to be a crazy day on the internet. I can promise you that. With all that being said, though, that's definitely going to bring us to the end of the video. Hopefully y'all have had a great and decent time here. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League at this point, and how you feel about Rocksteady not really doing anything promotion wise for the time being, and when do you think it's going to start. And again, if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and smack that notifications bell so that you'll never miss out on any of my future Suicide Squad related content, and I will catch y'all in the moonlight. Peace.